Dear guests, please take your seat. Now we're starting the forum. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. Now we are starting. Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. The Ambassador of India to Uzbekistan, Her Excellency Ms. Smitapand, and the Ambassador of Uzbekistan to India, Mr. Sardar Rustambayev. Ladies and gentlemen, with the great respect that we extend a warm welcome to all our distinguished guests at Uzbek-Indian Business Forum. My name is Ahmadxon Abbasxonov, and I represent the Department of International Cooperations and Protocol of the Ministry of Investment, Industry and Trade, Republic of Uzbekistan. And it's an honor to me to moderate today's business forum. Today's forum convenes esteemed officials and distinguished business leaders to profoundly enhance economic cooperation between our nations. Uzbekistan and India share a rich legacy and friendship, and our discussions focused on identifying and cultivating new opportunities for our joint investment. Now I invite you to direct your attention to the screen to view a short video that showcases Uzbekistan investment potential. Please.
Welcome to the heart of Eurasia, Uzbekistan, country rich in history and ambitious about its future. Uzbekistan is not only a land of cultural heritage, but also a fast-growing economy open for investment. Uzbekistan's economy is growing at an impressive rate. The volume of foreign investment significantly increased from 4.4 billion to 43.1 billion, and over thousands of new industrial projects are being implemented. Uzbekistan is becoming a key transport hub at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. The country is actively developing transport corridors and international infrastructure projects. The country is one of the world's leading producer of gold, silver, and uranium, and has significant reserves of copper, tungsten, and other minerals. The government of Uzbekistan is committed to creating favorable business environment through reforms and has strategic vision on the further development. The country's population is growing by 1 million people each year, with more than 60% of its population under the age of 30. Uzbekistan offers access to developed human capital. Tech-savvy professionals are ready to be part of your success. Uzbekistan is actively developing its renewable energy sector. We plan to increase the share of green energy to 54% by 2030. Major solar and wind projects offer vast opportunities for investors in the global energy transition. Uzbekistan offers legislative guarantees for foreign investors. Rich culture, historic cities, and unique natural attractions make Uzbekistan an appealing destination for tourism investment. Uzbekistan is a land of great opportunity for your business. Join a new phase of economic growth and be part of Uzbekistan's success. Explore new Uzbekistan, big country with big opportunities.
Now I am pleased to invite the Ambassador of Uzbekistan to India, His Excellency Sardar Rustambayev.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum, namaskar, namaste. So glad to see you here, many familiar faces. And I think this is not a, probably not, we should not call it a business forum, but rather family reunion, because so many of you already know about Uzbekistan. You already visited the country. Some of you are doing successful business here, and I would like to first utilize this opportunity to thank all of you for your active participation. Of course, our guests from India, representatives of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Excellency, my dear colleague, Madam Smita Pant is here, some of our esteemed colleagues and ladies and gentlemen here. So I see the full hall of people. It means that there is a strong interest to Uzbekistan, and my colleagues prepared me a long speech, but I would not take much of your time. I would like to speak from my heart, and I would like to begin by saying that Uzbekistan and India are natural partners, strategic partners first and foremost. We've been together for a long time. We've been together for millennia. We've been parts of big kingdoms together. So I guess we share the same DNA. The same blood is running in our veins, and it's easy to understand each other. I, as ambassador, enjoy myself in India because our political leadership, of course, our President, Honorable Shavkat Mirziyoyev, and Prime Minister Modi ji created an immense opportunity for all of us, and it's very easy and pleasant for me to work in India because any project, any new project that we are trying to initiate is always welcomed by the Indian side and always supported. So I'm very privileged, and we want to capitalize on the existing ties, and hence we try to call all of you to Uzbekistan to explore the opportunities. And intentionally we started our today's forum with a brief video, because seeing is believing, you know. And we wanted you to see what Uzbekistan is, what new Uzbekistan is. It's not the same country which was 1 year before, 2 years before, or maybe 10 years before. The country is developing very fast, very dynamic. And for those of you who are visiting for the first time, I would like to encourage you to explore our country, to explore beautiful cities of Tashkent, Samarkand, and Bukhara, to see how much in common we have, starting from architecture, food, and languages. You know that Hindi and Uzbek language, we have no less than 5,000 words in common, which shows our common heritage, our common roots. And I think our common task is to take this relationship even further, to capitalize on the existing relationship. And I'm proud to say that we've made strong progress in the last years. The trade is growing in very good terms. First time we reached a benchmark of more than 1.3 billion of USD in bilateral trade. It has jumped from 600 million in the last year, and in 1 year it grew in twice in size, and I think it's a good momentum and good dynamics. But we definitely understand it's not the threshold, it's not the limit, it's only the beginning, and we strongly encourage you. I know that there are lots of representatives from farmer sector, from trade sector, from agri sector, and there is a strong opportunities ahead of us. Today we'll have a panel discussion when all of your questions, any of your comments will be addressed by the specialists. We just want to welcome you here, and we specially flew from Delhi to host all of you in Uzbekistan, in our home town, home city. So welcome to Uzbekistan, enjoy your stay here, and we would be happy to respond to any of your questions. And I would like to wish us the successful event, and thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
Now I am pleased to invite the Ambassador of India to Uzbekistan, Her Excellency Ms. Smita Pant, to deliver her opening remarks.
Excellency Ambassador Sardar Rustambev, Joint Secretary Mr. Mohit Yadav from the Ministry of Commerce, dear friends, what Ambassador said actually resonates with me. And when we look at the amazing trajectory of our relationship, we are looking at an ecosystem which is very deep, and it is rooted in civilizational ties. And these deep bonds between our people, during the time of, when we speak about Silk Route, they were simultaneously sustained by commerce, trade, and philosophical exchanges. And centuries ago, Indian merchants guided massive caravans across the Hindu Kush mountains into the very hearts of the buzzing cities of Samarkand and Bukhara. Now, Indian merchants brought with them premium textiles and dyes and raw cane sugar and ghee, actually saryok, which you call saryok, and spices like pepper and cardamom. And that, in a way, also enriched the culinary skills in Central Asia. A line on saryok, I want to say, I've been very fascinated because when I came here, I was missing my ghee, and then I realized ghee is available, which you call saryok, and people consume it. And saryok, Ibn Sinha spoke about. I'm digressing a bit, but I want you to know and appreciate our similarities. So saryok has been mentioned by Ibn Sinha, its benefits, and now the modern science is corroborating it. Uzbek traders, they exported several thousands of horses to India along with ceramics and dry fruits. And if I'm not mistaken, it was not a primitive cash and carry system. Indian merchants actually set up permanent shops inside Uzbek market and established the hundi system. It is effectively in a very advanced paper-based bill of exchange. So a merchant could deposit his earnings in Central Asia, receive a handwritten credit note, and cash it out safely weeks later in Agra, completely decoupling, financial risk from physical transport. In my view, it was one of the most vibrant trade systems in the world. And if there are historians amongst us, they will have some understanding of the value. This value must have been in billions of dollars in current terms. Now, the question is, an ambassador spoke about the threshold. He said that the trade has increased from 600 million to 1.3 billion, and it is, I would say, and also, it shows that the Ministry of Commerce of both the countries are working. There's vibrancy in our ties. But my question to all of us here is, if this historical energy was so powerful and organic, why it has faced a modern slowdown? Actually, we all know the answer. Geopolitics and denial of direct land connectivity to our countries have placed a frustrating brake on the vibrant trade relationship. We are now trading via ports, maritime ports, and sometimes we trade via air. The current, if I may say, geopolitical situation in West Asia has not been very conducive to our trade, affecting economies, our lives, logistical cost. But I'm very optimist. I am of the view that this stagnation in connectivity created by politics will become increasingly unsustainable. And why I say so, India's voracious appetite is expanding at an unprecedented pace, driven by the green energy transition, the electrical vehicle revolution, mass urbanization. India is becoming one of the biggest consumers in the world. I think the annual copper requirement alone is projected to hit 4 to 5 million metric tons by 2035. There is demand for fertilizers, critical tech material, fruits, products like saffron or asafoetida, which, by the way, is a very expensive product, close to US $270 per kilogram. And world's 80% of that asafoetida, which you call ferula, is consumed by India alone. Now, all this is creating a spectacular micro development match between our two countries, and Uzbekistan is also scaling its output. Simultaneously, India can also export at a fraction of the cost of other suppliers. We are called the pharmacy of the world. We produce high quality, affordable, generic, life-saving medicines. We can also supply rugged, climate-resilient machinery, mobile technology, and automotive parts built specifically to handle intense wear and tear. I could say I've spoken to our manufacturers. They say at a 30 to 40% discount compared to expensive equipment that have very rigid maintenance contracts. But as Ambassador said about investments, I'm thoroughly conscious that the ultimate breakthrough in our strategic natural partnership lies in joint ventures. It lies in co-production and sustainable development projects. So we are also investing in Uzbekistan in several sectors. I think our investments are now over $750 million US. They will cross the $1 billion mark soon. The signing of the bilateral investment treaty has also helped. As your economy grows and expands, we also invite investments from Uzbekistan to take advantage of India's growth story. I also would like to advise our Indian friends that if they're looking at investing in Uzbekistan, which I strongly encourage, look at health. Look at education. There's tremendous amount of infrastructure development that is happening. Financial services, agro-processing is another very important area. One more interesting development I want to talk about, especially in taking into account our very strong people-to-people ties, is that increasingly more and more Indian students are coming to Uzbekistan to study medicines. At the moment, they contribute close to $100 million US to the Uzbek economy. India is the largest source country for global student mobility, contributing $70 billion US to the global economy. Now, there's a lot of potential here. We must work together to address issues of mutual interest, and both Ambassador and I are coordinating on this. One area that I see very strong potential, and dear friends, hear me out, I think it's in the area of wellness tourism, including Ayurveda. Basically, yoga market, if you see in the world today, is touching $130 billion US. Ayurveda market alone is close to US $25 billion. And we have been long training yoga enthusiasts in Uzbekistan. And friends, I believe in a very fragmented, chaotic world, people seek stillness, people seek peace because of its its natural beauty. Uzbekistan can be a hub of wellness tourism in Central Asia and beyond. Our resorts like Ananda in Himalaya have been voted by the Condé Nast Traveler Readers Travel Awards as the favorite destination spa. They have been ranked as the #1 destination spa in the rest of the world. So I think we can work together on this. I have been visiting some resorts here close to the mountains. We are having these discussions. And I'm also very glad that the Indian pharmaceutical companies which are present here today, who are investors, they have evinced interest in investing in Ayurveda products in Uzbekistan. Please don't backtrack. Do invest. There's a lot of potential. There are close to 800 herbs that Uzbekistan produces. There's a lot of potential in this area. Look into it. Ashokji. I think, Ambassador, there is merit in working towards designing direct local currency payment mechanisms. I mean, this is the digital evolution of our ancestors' hundi credit notes. We congratulate Uzbekistan for its phenomenal growth under the visionary guidance of President Mirziyoyev and the reforms that are being initiated and are being implemented. We strongly support your efforts, and as your strategic partner, we also support your membership to World Trade Organization, on which a protocol was recently signed. Just to let you know, dear friends, that last year, 250 delegates from India visited Uzbekistan. It's a good number. Tourism also has crossed the 100,000 mark. In the same spirit, we look forward to a very strong participation from the Uzbek side at the BRICS MSME Forum. I know you're busy with the investment forum, but even if it can happen through the online mode, we will appreciate. So we look forward to the next session of our Intergovernmental Commission in Tashkent tomorrow. And we are fully committed to translating our mutual affection and goodwill into concrete, practical outcomes for the benefit of the people of our two nations. Qatar Ahmed, Sao Boleng. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Ambassador Pant, for the sharing your valuable instincts with us today. Continuing our forum with inviting to the stage the Acting Director of the Investment Promotions Agency, Ms. Roxana Nasser.
Good afternoon, dear guests. It's a real pleasure to welcome all of you here and to receive you at Tashkent International Investment Forum. I hope that during these days, during the visit, you had an opportunity to get acquainted with our country, and actually participating in this event is one of the best opportunities to get better understanding of Uzbekistan, to know more about the investment opportunities and economic potential. So let me share with you brief information, and especially for those who haven't decided yet to start a business in Uzbekistan, what we can offer and why this is the right time to enter the market of Uzbekistan. So let me start with a few numbers, because numbers speak actually louder than anything else. Uzbekistan has a population of over 38 million people with an annual increase of about 2%. So about 1 million babies are born every year. And this is actually very young, expanding, and fast-growing market. 88% of our economically active population is under the age of 55, and more than 60% of our population is under the age of 30. And this is your workforce and your consumer market. Our GDP stands at over $147 billion. I know that this number is not really big, but we look at the dynamics, not at the number itself. And our economy has been growing over 7.7% annually for the last several years. And our inflation rate is about 7.3%, unemployment is 4.8%, and our literacy rate is 99%. So it doesn't matter what type of investor you are or what kind of sector you are looking for, Uzbekistan has something to offer to everyone. And when we talk about the unique investment proposition, it's good to look back at the reform agenda that we have started in 2017. So when we started the transformation of our country, we addressed the most pressing issues first. And the first step was to liberalize the foreign exchange market. And from that time only, not only Uzbek, international investors could freely exchange their revenues into any other countries' currencies and repatriate their profits. And then we also started working very hard on institutional base of our country. We established the Ministry of Investment, Industry and Trade of the Republic of Uzbekistan and our Investment Promotion Agency. And another very important factor here is the adoption of a series of very important laws, such as the PPP law. We adopted that law in 2019, and the same year we launched the first PPP project. So it means that we implement everything after it has been decided very quickly. We also adopted the law on investment and investment activities on free economic and special economic zones of Uzbekistan. And we also established the Foreign Investors Council under the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan for our government to have a direct dialogue with very big international investors. And those investors can directly address all the concerns and all their proposals to the government of the Republic of Uzbekistan. We also adopted a law on international arbitration. Now we have Tashkent International Arbitration Court, and you can actually implement arbitration clauses to your contracts, even with the government authorities. So now I'd like to show you the numbers. In 2017, we could attract $3.4 billion FDI. And during these years, we have achieved significant results. And last year, we could attract more than $43 billion. It's more than 12-fold increase. And I think that is a really impressive number. And during the pandemic years, due to the reform agenda, due to all the activities that our government has been undertaking, we could achieve also positive GDP growth, and we could recover from the pandemic very quickly. So now let me talk about a very important issue as well, which is taxes. Uzbekistan has made a very strategic choice to be one of the most competitive tax environments in the region. And we significantly reduced our taxes during this period. So VAT has been reduced from 20 to 12% in 2026, and property tax went from 5 to 1.5%, and personal income tax has down from 22.5% to 12%. And even though we have significantly reduced the taxes during this period, actual budget revenues has increased by more than 4 times during this period. And also, despite reducing the taxes, some of the taxes has been fixed till 2028, which means a very important factor for investors, predictability. Because now they can make their profit and expenses projections more easily. And also our tax system is fully digitalized. There is no need to visit any tax authorities. You can do everything through the online platforms. So Uzbekistan is not only a domestic market, it's a platform to access some of the world's most important markets. Let's take a look at European side. So Uzbekistan holds GSP Plus status under the European Union. And that means that products from Uzbekistan can be exported to the Europe, more than 6,000 product categories without any tariffs. And you can access quite big market of the European Union, which is more than 460 million people. And our trade turnover between EU and our countries has grown from $2.6 billion in 2017 to $6.8 billion in 2025. On the CIS side, we have access to more than 250 million consumers across the Commonwealth of Independent States. And the trade with CIS countries has nearly tripled during these periods. And exports to CIS went from 4 billion to more than 11 billion in 2025. So if you are thinking about using Uzbekistan as a manufacturing or processing base, then to serve both European and CIS markets simultaneously, the trade architecture is already in place. As we are double landlocked country, air connectivity, the development of air connectivity is one of the strategic directions for us. And we have 59 airlines operating flights to Uzbekistan. This is the second number in the CIS, and we are third by the number of the fleet size. And Uzbekistan is the only country in Central Asia that operates flights both to New York and to Tokyo. The airline names that you can see on the screens, I think, are quite familiar to you. And for people and for your goods getting to and from Uzbekistan, it's not a challenge anymore. So, as I said, Uzbekistan is a double landlocked country. That's why integration into international transport corridors is of also strategic importance for us. And together with our regional partners, Uzbekistan has been cooperating and investing heavily in the development of the middle corridor. And during this period, the corridor's capacity has increased significantly. And also another key initiative in this particular topic is the construction of railway China-Kyrgyzstan-Uzbekistan. And when that project is completed, the cargo transit times will reduce significantly, and it will take about 1 week to transport goods from China to Uzbekistan. Also, throughout the country, in all regions of our country, we have special economic zones. And depending on the size of investment, there we provide special incentives and proposals for investors. And also, for every particular project, every special economic zone in regions of Uzbekistan are concentrated on particular sectors. For example, some of them are pharma-based, some of them are more for industrial and production purposes. So you can find a special place for you that has all the infrastructure facilities, it has the gas, water, and everything. You just go there, select the place, and start your projects immediately. So, as I said, there are 23 special economic zones in all regions of our country. I will not stop much on that point. And if you have any questions regarding the special economic zones, we can share the information after our business forum. Also, very important topic is the public-private partnership. In this concern, it's one of the best mechanisms to enter our country. And we have used that mechanism in many sectors, especially in infrastructure. Now we are trying to implement the PPP mechanism in other sectors as well, including the education, healthcare, logistics, and many others. So every year we are trying to develop special materials for investors interested to start a business in Uzbekistan, where they can get all the necessary information about all the activities, about the legislation, incentives, and government support programs. And in our investment promotion agency, we serve as the single window for investors. We are the first point. You can address us if you have any questions, and we can connect you to any government agencies. We also have our investment platform where we have investment projects, the portfolio of investment projects using different mechanisms, including the greenfield, brownfield projects, the PPP, privatization program. So if you are thinking to enter the Uzbekistan, then you can address us, and then we can connect you to anyone else. So if you have any questions, I'm open to answer them after the event, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Roxana. I am pleased to invite the Joint Secretary of Ministry of Commerce and Industry of India, Mr. Mohit Yadav. Please.
My dear colleague, Ambassador of India to Uzbekistan, Ms. Smita Pant, Ambassador of Uzbekistan to India, Excellencies, distinguished guests, business leaders, investors, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to join this Investors Forum in Tashkent. I thank the government of Uzbekistan for bringing together policymakers, investors, and enterprises at a time when the world economy is looking for trusted partners, resilient supply chains, and new growth centers. I also convey India's appreciation for the successful organization of the 5th Tashkent International Investment Forum. India comes to this forum with a simple proposition that India and Uzbekistan can build a stronger investment bridge between our region and Central Asia. Our partnership already rests on history, as my colleagues initially pointed out, goodwill and leadership level trust. And the task before business is to convert this political comfort into projects, trade, technology, and jobs. Now, India's own economic journey gives weight to this proposition. India today is the fastest growing major economy with a potential growth rate of 7%, and as the last quarter showed, we grew at about 7.5%, despite the headwinds that the world is facing. And it's supported by capital accumulation, labor reforms that we've recently carried out, and a digital public infrastructure. Now, India is investing at scale today. For instance, for the financial year 26-27, the overall capital expenditure is about $128 billion, nearly the 5 times of 2013. Now, Indian Railways alone has a capital outlay of almost $31 billion. National highway allocations have increased nearly 500% over the last decade. Airports have doubled. Metro rail has expanded to more than 4 times the number of cities compared to earlier years. Now, this is not only infrastructure spending, it is productivity building. It reduces logistics cost, expands markets, links producers to consumers, and gives investors a platform of scale. And India is also integrating more deeply with the world. Here is where our linkage with Uzbekistan also comes in, that manufacturing is a central element to this story. India has moved from being a large consumer market to becoming a competitive production base. Now, India is the world's second largest mobile phone manufacturer. We are a trusted global supplier in pharmaceuticals. Growth is visible in electronics, textiles, engineering goods, chemicals, defense, manufacturing, and toys. Now, our budget, if we see this year, then it supports sunrise sectors. We had the Biopharma Shakti mission, the semiconductor mission, the electronic component manufacturing scheme, rare earth corridors, and chemical parks. The Uzbekistan reform path and industrial ambition and connectivity location make it a natural partner for Indian industry. Indian companies can bring pharmaceuticals, medical devices, auto components, electric machinery, textiles, agro-processing, IT services, education, and healthcare. All these provides another supplier to diversify for Uzbekistan. So, for Uzbek enterprises itself, India is a large market, a manufacturing partner, a technology partner, and a gateway into wider supply chains. Our bilateral trade, as already pointed out, has shown both achievement and headroom. Now, goods exports, as per our data, is up to about 644 million in 2025, up from 481 million in 2024. And the CAGR over the last approximately 11 years is about 12.9%. Uzbekistan's customs data placed India at one of the top goods suppliers in 2024. Now, here services are also important. Our total services trade is close to $500 million, which shows the connectivity among our people, apart from the goods. So these figures are encouraging. They are still below the true potential of our economies. We should aim to double bilateral trade over the next 3 years, supported by investment-led sectoral cooperation. Now, I was looking at the data. Indian ODI investment is one of the fastest growing. We are one of the fastest growing investor countries anywhere across the world. Pharmaceuticals are an early priority. India is known as the pharmacy of the world. We can support Uzbekistan's objective of affordable, quality assured healthcare. And in this recognition of Indian pharmacopoeia, reliance-based approvals for facilities certified by stringent regulatory authorities and smoother registration pathways would reduce duplication, lower costs, and improve availability of pharmaceuticals for patients here. Now, digital cooperation is another major opportunity. India has a population of 1.4 billion people, and it's among the world's largest generators and consumers of data. Our digital personal data protection law provides a safe, secure, privacy protecting, and rights based framework. With UPI led payments, digital public infrastructure, and a large talent pool, both countries can work in fintech, e governance, cybersecurity, AI data centers, and digital skills. Now, organizations have recognized the growing importance of digital strategies and investment promotion in digital economy, including India's semiconductor mission as part of global supply integration. Energy and green growth can also become a strong pillar. India, as you know, recorded its highest ever annual solar capacity of addition of 45 gigawatts in the last financial year. India is now ranked third globally in renewable energy installed capacity, with non-fossil fuel sources contributing to 29.2% of power generation and 50% of installed power capacity already from non-fossil fuel sources. For an economy moving rapidly into AI, data centers, and advanced manufacturing, reliable, clean power is essential. This creates scope for India-Uzbekistan cooperation in solar storage, grid systems, critical minerals, and uranium supply. Now, defense manufacturing is another area where India's transformation is visible. The budget allocation for this year in India for defense is about $82.63 billion, the highest of one of the allocations that we have. And it's about 15% more than the previous budget. And defense modernization has been allocated about $20 billion. Our defense exports also have crossed 2.4 billion, nearly 35 times from a decade ago. So in this sector, India is a growing supplier for defense products across the world, and it's a trusted supplier. For businesses, the message is that India's reform process is continuing. GST reform, labor reform, 100% FDI in insurance, revised norms for small companies, UPI-led digital payments, and new ministries for skill development, fisheries, cooperatives, and Ayush reflect a wider shift towards scale, inclusion, and trust-based governance. Our next priorities are to improve competitiveness, productivity, innovation, and technology, greater role for services, a greater role for manufacturing, and new generation services, and simpler governance based on trust. In fact, there is not a single day which passes where people like me have been asked to make it easier for people to live in India and try and make it easier for businesses to do their work and try to remove any bottlenecks which the government is imposing on businesses. Now, connectivity will decide how far we can take our commerce. Some of the connectivity issues which are right now operating will likely to be addressed in the near future. There are routes through which goods, capital, professionals, and services will move. And I invite Uzbek businesses to look at India not only as a market, but as a long-term growth partner. So you should try to participate in Indian trade fairs, sectoral expos, startup events, and investment forums as well. You can work with our export promotion councils, build joint ventures, and use each other's strengths. India and Uzbekistan, friends, at the end, I'd like to summarize by saying that India and Uzbekistan are old civilizational partners. Today, we have the opportunity to become new economic partners for a changing world. We count on this forum to move from potential to projects, and from goodwill to investments, and from conversations to outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mokhtyadov. Now, I am pleased to invite the member of FICI committee, Mr. Afzal Abdulaziz.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, namaste, and a very good afternoon to everyone. At the outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Ambassador of India to Uzbekistan, Honorable Ambassador of Uzbekistan to India, and the Honorable Joint Secretary, Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, for their presence and leadership at this important forum. Their continued efforts have significantly strengthened the economic and commercial partnership between our two friendly nations. I would like to extend my appreciation to the organizers of our delegation, particularly the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, FICI, and ABEDA, for inviting our delegation to participate in the Invest Uzbekistan Summit, and for creating an excellent platform to promote dialogue, collaboration, and investment opportunities between our countries. India and Uzbekistan share a relationship that spans centuries. The historical links between our people, forged through the ancient Silk Road, has created the foundation of trust, friendship, and mutual respect. Over the years, these historical ties have evolved into strong strategic partnerships supported by regular high-level engagements and growing economic cooperation. Today, the relationship between India and Uzbekistan stands stronger than ever. Bilateral trade has shown encouraging growth, and both governments have demonstrated a clear commitment to expanding economic engagement. However, when we compare the current trade figures with the immense potential that exists between our economies, it becomes evident that we have only begun to scratch the surface. I firmly believe that our collective objective should be to double the bilateral trade between India and Uzbekistan in the coming years. Given the excellent political relationships, increasing connectivity initiatives, supportive government policies, and the strong goodwill that exists between our business communities, this is not only an ambitious target, but also an achievable one. There are tremendous opportunities for collaboration in the sectors such as food processing, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, textiles, information technology, logistics, infrastructure, renewable energy, and tourism. The business communities of both the countries must work closely together to identify newer opportunities, establish strategic partnerships, and facilitate greater investments. As the representative of the private sector, I can confidently say that Indian companies view Uzbekistan as an attractive and promising destination for trade and investment. We are encouraged by the reforms undertaken by the government of Uzbekistan, and we look forward to contributing to the country's economic growth and development. Let us use this forum as a catalyst for deeper engagement, stronger partnership, and greater prosperity for both our nations. Now, I would like to introduce myself as Afzal Aziz. I represent a 161-year-old company from India, which is the largest company for agribusiness out of India. We are trading with about 80 countries across the world, including Uzbekistan. And last 2 days have been amazing. I would say I would like to congratulate the government of Uzbekistan for creating this platform, because it is, me and my delegation, we never actually knew the actual potential which exists between the two countries. And so last 2 days have been an eye-opener, and I would say we should invest as soon as possible. So guys, you've done a great job. Once again, I thank the government of Uzbekistan, government of India, our distinguished dignitaries, and FICCI for bringing us together on this important occasion. Rahmat, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Afzal Abdulaziz. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants of the forum, this is the end of Uzbekistan-Indian Business Forum. Now it's time to start special panel session, India-Uzbekistan, two nations, one vision for shared prosperity. This session will be moderated by Mr. Tiwari Ashok, Chairman of the Indian Diaspora in Uzbekistan.
His Excellency, Ambassador of Uzbekistan to India, Mr. Sardar Rustambayev, Her Excellency, Ambassador of India to Uzbekistan, Mrs. Smita Panji, His Excellency, First Deputy Health Minister, Mr. Abdullah Azizov. Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's panel discussion, Uzbekistan-India, two nations, one vision for shared prosperity. India and Uzbekistan share centuries of historical, cultural, and commercial ties. Today, these long-standing connections are evolving into a modern economic partnership driven by investment, innovations, entrepreneurship, and sustainable development. Both countries are undergoing significant economic transformation. India continues to emerge as a global leader in manufacturing, digital innovation, and technology, while Uzbekistan is implementing far-reaching reforms aimed at creating a more open, competitive, and investor-friendly economy. The opportunities before us are significant. How can we increase bilateral investment and trade? How can business from both countries create stronger industrial partnership? How can technology and innovation accelerate economic growth? And how can India and Uzbekistan jointly position themselves as a strategic investment gateway connecting South Asia, Central Asia, and beyond? Before moving ahead, I would like to call on the stage our today's speaker. Their names are Dr. Rashmi Saluja ji, kindly come on stage. Rashmi Saluja ji, please come on stage. Mr. Muhammad Salman. Mr. Abdullah Azizov, Mr. Jo Ali Khan, Dr. Anand Hegre, okay. Now, I am going to start today's panel discussion. My question, I have prepared some question for your speakers. Yes. Sorry? Okay. Okay. Yes. So today we have a very actually dynamic minister, dynamic deputy first health minister, Mr. Abdullah Azizov. Actually, I have also in pharma business. I am doing pharma business for here for last 25 years. And the way he is growing this sector is commendable. So he prepared something for today's session, for today evening. Sir, kindly share with us and show your presentation. Yeah, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to see all of you here in Indian and Uzbek Business Forum. This is the last day. I know a lot of people are tired, but still there is an energy which is great, and I'm very happy to see a lot of people. Actually, the auditorium is full, and that's what we want to see all the time. And it's a special day for Uzbekistan, as you know. We had a first match ever in in the World Cup. Yeah, we lost 3-1, but there was a scoring, 1 goal. Everybody's happy, including our president. I think we can clap our team, we can support them all together. If you allow me, I'd like to talk about pharmaceutical industry of Uzbekistan and also a little bit about healthcare sector. As you know, what is special about Uzbekistan economy is last 9 years, the economy has been developing sustainably, and it's over 6% every year. And last year it was 7.6%, and this year, first quarter, it was 8.4%. This is, I think, outstanding results. It's because of the reform that's been run by our president and by whole team. Holding it sustainable for 9 years is very, very difficult, as you know, because most of the time economic growth is up and down. It's like American roller coaster. But somehow we managed to, hold it very sustainable. And we have to do it for next another 10 years in order to be, one of the developed countries. So another thing is the population growth. We are also one of the fastest growing population if you take proportionally globally. And every year we have 1 million baby born, and we have 38 million population. And if you compare to Korea, I was talking to Korean colleagues, and they have more than 50 million of population, and they have 223,000 baby born per year, and we are last population. We're 1 million baby born. So yeah, I think that's a good trend. At some point in time, people were complaining having overpopulation is very difficult, but India and China, I think they proved having more population is not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. It's a very good asset. I think we understand more and more the human resource asset is the most important asset. Before we used to think it was equipment is the more important asset, right? And well, when it comes to pharmaceuticals, we have 3 different markets. The first market is Uzbek markets. It's $3 billion market, and then we have Central Asian markets, which is $11 billion market, and CAEs market, which is $57 billion market. What is special about Central Asia? 92% of the products that are consumed, they're all imported. So which means the region is very much import dependent. And in CAEs, the advantage of CAEs is the market is very big, $57 billion market. And we have free trade agreement with all those countries. So basically, if you export your product from Uzbekistan, there is no customs duty. And in 2030, we are targeting to be part of Eurasian Economic Union in pharmaceuticals specifically, where the registration happening in Uzbekistan will be recognized in all other Eurasian Economic Union countries. And in terms of population, well, Central Asia, including Afghanistan, it's around 120, 130 million people, and CIS is 300 million people. The economy is growing, affordability is growing, which means we're expecting there will be big growth in the market, pharmaceutical market as well. When it comes to regulation, there are a lot of changes. You know, last 2 years we had around 25 documents. It's a presidential decree, the decree from Cabinet of Ministers, basically, or all of them are directed to upgrade the standards, regulation, and also providing the incentives and benefits for investors. When it comes to foreign trade performance, in 2017, we were exporting for about 17 million US dollar. And last year we closed the book with 245 million US dollar. And this year we're expecting 300 million. So which means that's a very positive trend, which means there is a good trust by neighboring countries, CAEx countries and other countries, and they're willing to buy our products. In Uzbekistan, we have 5 free economic zones and 1 cluster. It's called Biopharma City. And many of you have been to Biopharma City. And I think most probably you have recognized the change. Within 2 years, we actually mobilized 2024 March. But today, if you come, we're all sitting, our agency, regulation, all of our, we're sitting there. And you will also see around 25 companies doing the construction activity. So they're constructing their facility. So we're expecting next 3-4 years, this Biopharma City will be turned into real hub. So you can feel the R&D activities and the clinical trials. But then free economic zones. So there are a lot of benefits and incentives provided in those free economic zones. First of all, the land is provided almost for free. So for example, in Biopharma City, which is located in Zangiota, which is next to Tashkent, the 1 hectare of land, if you buy yourself, it will cost you 3 million US dollar, but the government is willing to give it for $20,000, so which is 150 times cheaper. So it's almost for free. It's a nominal value. Then infrastructure provided by the government. So it's road, electricity, gas, water, sewage, everything is done by the government. Then we have utility costs. Utility costs also provided there. Utility costs are one of the lowest in not only Central Asia, but amongst developing countries. Right now, electricity is 7 cents per kilowatt hour. Then water is 24 cents per cubic meter. Natural gas is 16 cents per cubic meter. Then wages are from 400 to 500 US dollars per month. Then when it comes to tax rates, it's flat. It's also one of the lowest amongst developing countries. Personal income tax is 15%, 12%, corporate profit tax 15%, and VAT is 12%. I can tell you, since you are exposed a lot to pharmaceuticals, India is quite advanced in pharmaceuticals. You know the difference between clusters and different clusters. For example, in Saudi and UAE, there are also clusters. In other countries, they're also establishing clusters. But many of them are not very successful for many different reasons, even though the government is providing a lot of incentives, but then the economy or free economic zone is suffering with personnel, so that you cannot find employees, or you have to call them from different countries, the specialists, and it will become a burden, so it will be very expensive to have employees. So from that angle, that there's a huge advantage that Uzbekistan has. As you know, our population, 60% of our population is, their age is lower than 30 years old, so we're a very young generated country. And when it comes to tax exemption, tax-free zones, of course, they provide tax exemptions. If you invest more than 10 million US dollars, then you are not paying taxes for 10 years. It's corporate profit tax, resource, water tax, property tax, and land tax. Then we have other customs duty exemptions. If you are doing a construction in tax-free zones, it's specific for tax-free zones. So you are not paying customs duty for construction materials, equipment, and raw materials. And recently, our president signed a presidential decree. Going forward, anyone who is doing a business outside of tax-free zones, they can also get tax exemption for 3 years. This is very new. This is very special for herbals, because you need a plantation, and you need production, your raw materials, and you need some semi-finished products. Then normally it's not in tax-free zones outside, so then you can also use this benefit. On top of that, the government is doing some cost reimbursement. As an example, if you are registering your product in the US and then in Europe, as you know, first product registration is very expensive, including GMP inspection. It can go up to 1 million US dollar, but then government is reimbursing 100% without export proof. But then we also have 20% price premium. So if you're selling your product to government, then you have a 20% price premium over import. Then we have, if you're investing or if you have some expenses related to R&D, then your expenses doubled up on your P&L side, and it's reducing your tax base, which is also a great thing to support R&D activities. If you're submitting your application for EU GMP, then 50% of your cost is reimbursed by the government. If you are producing completely new products, up to 50% of your cost is also reimbursed by the government for tech transfer. If you sign an investment agreement and start manufacturing within 3 years, then you can get 2 years interest rate lump sum reimbursed by the government too. It's done in order to support the business so they go faster with the manufacturing. Then we have, the government's organizing a lot of exhibitions, so you can participate free. Then if you want to register your product locally produced in Uzbekistan, it's a fast-track registration. And then you also have 82% cost reimbursement for the registration. So another new thing is royalty tax is 5% for pharmaceuticals. This is very new. In most of the countries, it's 20%. And price regulation-wise, you get a support. So basically only the original price of, 80% of the original price is applied for drugs. Then another thing is drugs import. Actually, we have customs duty today for drugs. If it's imported today, it's 2%. But like other countries, like for example, Kazakhstan, even US and other countries, they're up to 10% and 20%. So Uzbekistan is also reviewing to support local manufacturing in the direction. Our agency is not only responsible for pharmaceuticals, but we're also responsible for nutraceuticals. 2 weeks ago, we were in India. We had a very great event in Mumbai. We were awarded with Ipakula Laureate. It's Great Silk Road. Actually we were very happy to see a lot of Indian colleagues. And then what we felt is there's a very good interest, from India to develop nutraceutical industry in Uzbekistan. In Uzbekistan today we have more than 2,000 plant species. 760 of them, they have a proven record of positive effect on the health. So there is a very good interest. We're very happy, and we also had a chance to go to Hyderabad. So we met a lot of big companies, and we also noticed that the companies are very much interested, and they regard Uzbekistan as a gateway to CAES. They are not taking Uzbekistan as a separate country, but they are seeing Uzbekistan as a gateway. That's exactly what we want, and eventually we want to be a gateway not only for CAES but for a bigger region, just because Uzbekistan has one of the strongest political relations with many developed countries, as you know. We are heavily supported by US and the European Union and Russia and Asian countries, China and India. We have, with many of them, we have a strategic cooperation agreement and collaboration agreement. So that's why we also have a GSP Plus program with European Union. I think you're well aware. Today we have more than 6,000 products listed, and you can sell your product to European Union without customs duty. And next thing is cosmetics market is also very interested. So if you're into cosmetics, there's a huge advantage. It's a first mover advantage is there specifically, because today we have $2.1 billion of markets, almost 100% imported. It's same for the region. So if you know anyone or you are interested in cosmetics, you can tell them, and they get all the benefits that pharmaceuticals are also getting. This is our biopharma city. It's a cluster. It's a very unique cluster. It's very different if you compare to other clusters. The uniqueness is the regulation is also sitting in the same zone together with free companies, manufacturing companies. And on top of that, we have a university. It's an international university, pharmaceutical technical university. Then we have National Biopharmaceutical R&D Institute. Then we have regulation, our agency, Foreign Service, the Clinical Research Center. Then we have Preclinical Research Center, Genomics Center, Data Center. This is a technopark. The government is investing around $400 million. I haven't seen myself in any of those clusters where regulation is sitting with manufacturing side. And on top of that, we have residential area, industrial zones, and industrial zones. Today we have 32 projects for almost $1 billion. 18 of them is foreign investors. So 60% of the participants are foreign investors. And there are 2 partners I can see. Yeah, Satish is sitting there, and then he has 2 projects, and Ashok has another project, which is great. And we are seeing there's a very good interest. And there is another company, Ananta. They're also investing in Pharma Park, or we call it now Biopharma City. And we're happy to invite other big players to come to Uzbekistan. As I said, there is a great opportunity. We can all together unleash the opportunity on the potential that's lying within Central Asia and CAES countries. This is our technopark. As you can see, our administration building is completed. If you have time, if you're staying in Uzbekistan a bit longer, we are all invited to come to Biopharma City. We'll be privileged to present to you what exactly we're doing. And I think you will be also thrilled to see the development within 2 years, how much progress we have done. in a short period of time. Because, there was a, company, Abbott, that it's a big pharma worldwide, everybody knows. When senior vice president came from Switzerland, when we were showing, and he said, interesting comment he gave. He said, you know what? We spent 2 years to get an approval for construction, but you guys did so much in 2 years. What have you done? So that's what it did. The top management is supporting us. The first person of the country, our president, he is very much supporting pharmaceuticals because we see pharmaceuticals as a new driver of the economy. And pharmaceuticals is very science related, and it's also another image for the country when we go outside and talk about Uzbekistan. Of course, there are some other projects we highlighted, as you see, from 2021, 2020. If we had only 7 projects within 3 years, but so as I said, we mobilized 2024. So then you can see 13 companies that was attracted, and last year another 12 companies, and this year we're expecting another 15 companies. We're, as I said, very much eager to see all of you. If you have any kind of questions, we're always ready to answer. We are, very open for any dialogue. You can come to the airport, you can call me, and then on the same day I'll have you in my biopharma city. It's not, you don't feel bureaucracy. It's completely gone. So I think that's a privilege you will get, and then we'll also get a privilege to have you there. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for the detailed information. Actually, I can say, because I also feel whenever I drop him message, even late night, even sometimes 11 p.m., he immediately revert me back. I don't know when he sleep. Actually, that's why he's very dynamic, and really is, in very short period, the pharma world has completely changed in Uzbekistan. I think thanks for, actually, especially thanks to Mr. Abdullah Azizov for such great changes in the pharma sector in Uzbekistan. Now, this panel session, my question to all our speakers: what is the single most important initiative that India and Uzbekistan should undertake today to create the next major investment hub by 2035? Hegre sir, if you have any idea, if you have any opinion, Mike. Huh? This mic is working, sir.
All right. Does work? All right. So you speak. All right. So you speak first, Anant. Then I will.
Sir, please come here. Please.
So we have been discussing regarding pharma. It's okay. We have been discussing about pharma. So everybody conventionally, they think pharma means chemicals. Can we think about green pharmaceuticals? Yes, that is the vision. It is not only a vision. In my company, it is the reality. So in 2030, how we can transform our entire economy into green. Soil to space. The whole globe, it is moving towards greener economy, green economy. Whether it is green pharmaceuticals or anything, just you imagine, we are moving towards greener economy. So that's why in 2030, if we can give the priority to green approach, that would be ideal. And not only a slogan, I can prove it in my company, through my company here in Uzbekistan.
Yeah, Dr. Rashmi Saluja ji, Chairman Person, Global Trade and Technology Council of India. Technology, innovation, and global value chains are reshaping the future of international investment and economic competitiveness. My question to her, Dr. Rashmi Saluja ji, how can technology become a catalyst for deeper India-Uzbekistan cooperation? What opportunities exist in healthcare, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, and digital innovation? How can both countries strengthen collaboration in research, innovation, and advanced technology? What policy frameworks are needed to encourage technology-driven investment? Please, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashokji. Excellency, Deputy Minister of Pharmaceutical, Excellency, Ambassador of Uzbekistan to India, dear friends. The very reason that I am, while I'll be answering his multiple questions, which is as if like, in fact, but the thing is that I'm going to answer the questions in my experience of 3 years of coming to Tashkent Investment Forum and multiple times that I've visited here. First of all, the reason that I am here, apart from a lot of other friends, is the ambassador and the minister. The roller coaster ride of Hyderabad has been very much, I've been witness to it. And the kind of achievement is there in all the forms that Ashokji said. In one day, I've never seen anybody actually not only achieving, but delivering and also following it up. In spite of the fact the Tashkent Investment Forum was happening subsequent to that, but this was really, really important. I have visited universities here, healthcare systems here in Konkan. We partner with them. And I have really seen that they deliver much before what they have always committed. And that is our strength in Uzbekistan. The new Tashkent city that I have seen in last 2 years, actually what was the vision, what has been translated, and how it really looks today is something, it is unbelievable. In fact, what Uzbekistan has come across today is something which I would be very proudly saying is one of the most, not only the emerging, but emerged economy, which inspires countries like India. And countries like India, if can understand the strength that we can create by partnering with Uzbekistan and making it not only the CIS hub, but also creating a hub to the other parts in GCC and Africa. Whether in the field of biotechnology, biopharma, or any other digital technology. Ladies and gentlemen, I have also been witness to how things move here. It is not only the president's vision or the minister's vision, but it really percolates and gets to the most executive people who have to actually deliver. Just 20 days back, the entire Adani group was here for multiple projects. In 20 years, they are literally in the signing of the documentation. If that can happen to a big conglomeration where we feel extremely pride and proud of, I'm sure that other investments can be very secure here. The digital technology, as Ashokji just said, I have seen how he has grown in last 2 years. The only thing that I would be requesting here, which we did earlier also, is the commuting. We need more commuting strength here. Health education, when Gangaram Hospital, which most of people who are sitting here know what Gangaram means, when the entire team of Gangaram, including the chairman and the board members, came over here and they saw the development here, it was amazing to feel that resource building here as per the Indian standard to ensure that the NMC feels that we are really delivering the right way can really do wonders. So ladies and gentlemen, I have to personally thank, not only on my company's behalf, but of course for most of the other investors in India, to the President, Mr. Laziz, who has really working. In fact, I think so you all clone each other on work profiling. You just work and deliver and you inspire us to work.
We are inspired by our president. We get this message.
And it is so infectious that it reaches us. So I really thank, in fact, our local host has been ambassador. I have, Mr. Sardar Ustambev, I have yet to come across a more positive and more dynamic leader as we have in you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Saluja. My next addressed to Mohammad Salman Warisi, founder, Tech Legis LLC. Digital transformation and legal innovation are becoming increasingly important factors in attracting international investment. My question is, how does the regulatory environment influence investor confidence? What legal and regulatory reforms are most important for attracting technology companies and startups? How can digital governance support cross-border business activity? What best practices should emerging investment destination adopt to remain globally competitive? Please, Mr. Salman Warisi.
I think that's a lot of questions.
Yeah,
but
please.
I'll try to do justice to whatever I can. Firstly, I want to thank His Excellency and the Ministry of Trade and Investment here, Honorable Minister as well for hosting us here and for making this possible. This trip was really enlightening. I think I can only second what Rashmiji has said, and I think some of the other people have said about Uzbekistan, the pace of development and the growth that we have seen in Uzbekistan. This is my first trip to the country. I am a resident in Dubai, and of course I work in India as well. By profession, I'm a lawyer. I specialize in technology, artificial intelligence and data. And I can, from my personal experience, say that I've not seen this kind of fast-paced development anywhere else in the world. So congratulations to all the people concerned, and my best wishes for further development. I was just expressing my keen interest in what Honorable Minister had shared. One of our clients based out of the UK of Indian origin is setting up 11 medicities in India, and I think what he shared just opened my eyes. I think this could probably be the next destination for him to set up something here. So I'll be in touch very soon with you, Honorable Minister. Answering the question, I think as far as the investment destination is concerned, already a lot has been shared, and Uzbekistan has proven itself, so there is very little that I can add to it, except for the fact that, for attracting foreign investment, there are three pillars. The most important is building a culture of innovation. Second is having a kind of a regulatory mechanism which is stable. And thirdly, a strong digital infrastructure. I think as far as infrastructure and regulatory mechanism is concerned, a lot has been said and shared here by our Uzbek colleagues, so there's little that I can add to, because as I said, I'm in awe of the developments and the pace of those developments. But I think as far as building a culture of innovation is concerned, that is something where I could probably add my 2 cents. What I can say is that as far as Uzbekistan and as well as in India is concerned, we are both civilizational partners. Incidentally, I think Honorable Her Excellency had highlighted this, and Ambassador Sardar also mentioned about it. The cultural ties between our two countries. This year, I don't know if many of you would have noted, we are kind of commemorating 500 years of our cultural ties. And since Mohitji is here and his Honorable Minister is here, my appeal to you would be that maybe this year we could probably, from now on, celebrate or commemorate 500 years of cultural ties. It could be a year of friendship between India and Uzbekistan. So this is my suggestion. I'm very keen to sort of see people to people and business to business and government to government collaboration on this. From a building a culture perspective on innovation, I think India is a very good example of how we have evolved in the last 10 years under the leadership of the current Prime Minister, from promoting startups to Make in India to some of the other projects that they have very effectively implemented. I think before the present government came, it was very little that could be seen as far as startups are concerned. There was huge bottlenecks. So the fact that the current government had opened doors for young startups in terms of facilitation, in terms of grants, in terms of one window approvals, that is something that is incredible. And I think that could probably be something that we can share with Uzbekistan. I'm sure they are doing something similar, but there is a lot that we could probably learn from each other. And besides the fact that the culture of innovation is existing in both these countries, the current geopolitical conditions, which I think Her Excellency had highlighted, have again thrown up opportunities for both our countries. The fact that Uzbekistan has developed this IT park concept that has been picked up, and there are data embassies that are now being established. Now, this is something that is very unique, and again, Uzbekistan has attracted, especially a lot of interest from the Middle East. Countries like Qatar, UAE, and also Saudi Arabia have committed to setting up data embassies. I think that could be a way forward, where Uzbekistan could promote this in a much bigger way, and maybe something that India could take a leaf from as well, because India is churning out data at a huge and an exorbitant pace, and at some point or the other, very soon, we would need to implement something like this. Data embassies. This is a concept that was first established in Estonia, and is now being picked up by countries across the world. It's got to do with data sovereignty, where you're protecting your data in a neutral jurisdiction, which is geopolitically stable, and you're making sure that the laws that govern that data are of your home country. So, very unique concept, and something that could be emulated across, and probably something that India could also learn from. So with that said, I think there's just one suggestion that I have, and this is something really that I observed as far as Uzbekistan was concerned. I think Uzbekistan has done brilliantly, but probably when I compare it with Dubai or the UAE, somewhere what is probably needing a little more push is investment in storytelling. Probably you need to invest a little more on telling the Uzbekistan success story, the success story of Uzbek startups, the success story of each of those startups when they are going to market, and the next probably unicorn that is coming out of Uzbekistan. And this is something where I can at least suggest that our firm Technologies can, with its extensive network across jurisdictions, would be happy to support the government. So with that, I would just thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Salman Waris. Now, my questions to Dr. Anant Hegreji, founder and chairman, Kadamba Group. Entrepreneurship and private sector leadership play a key role in creating sustainable investment ecosystems. What lesson from your business experience are most relevant for companies exploring opportunities in Central Asia? What opportunities do you see for Indian businesses in Uzbekistan over the next decade? How can entrepreneurship contribute to strengthening bilateral economic relations? What sectors are likely to become the next drivers of growth and investments? So, Dr. Hegre, please.
Thank you for this opportunity. Excellencies, and then our chief guest, various other dignitaries, and then government officials. Our relation, it goes back not only 500 years, but more than 10,000 years back. If you go back to our history, the India and then Uzbek relationship, it is much, much deeper, much, much deeper. Anyway, how India can contribute, and then how we can associate with Uzbek development. As our joint secretary said, as our ambassador said, India is the biggest, nowadays the third biggest economy. growing in all the verticals. Using that experience, how we can replicate the same model here in Uzbekistan. Since last 10-15 years, the Indian growth, it is phenomenal. Nobody can deny that. Whole world is evidential. For example, in pharma, so we are the second largest exporters. How the pharma industry has developed in India, of course, there may be competitions. The same model, if you can replicate here, as I said earlier in nutshell, the green concept. Particularly my company, we are into nanotechnology. Not only conventional nanotechnology, but green nanotechnology. We synthesize nanoparticles for biomedical application, agriculture, metallurgy, and then various soil to space. Anything just you mentioned, the green nanotechnology applications are there. Really, I am very much, really it is appreciable that the bio cluster, the Uzbek government it is planning. The whole world is moving step ahead. Whether people they are aware or not, the future technology is nanotechnology, the quantum technology. Using that technology, already in my laboratory we are developing nano bioinformatics. So bioinformatics, everybody they are aware. How the molecule docking study happens, pharmacokinetic, pharmacodynamic, and then various other things, everybody they are well aware. But once the active ingredient, active molecule, it is encapsulated with the nanomolecule, how it works in the body, nobody is aware. The computational methodology and then various other parameters on ground, on lab, everything, already we are doing the exercise there. We are doing the deep tech research. If the opportunity it welcomes, definitely we would be happy to associate with the Uzbek government to bringing that technology. And then all across the globe, nobody has got that technology, the patent, and then everything we have. We would be really happy to share the same with Uzbek government, Uzbek investors, Uzbek universities, researchers, scholars, because any technology we develop, it is for the mankind. It should not be limited to one country or one religion or somewhere else. It is for the mankind. So that if we can think beyond the limitation, beyond our regular conventional imagination, I think that is the way. Next generation thinking, next generation planning, next generation infrastructure. The leaders always the one generation, two generation ahead. So, as a strategic location the Uzbek is having in Central Asia, it should take the lead, it should take the responsibility for catering whole the Central Asian countries, and then not only the limited to our geological, the national border, the all across the globe, we can become a pioneer in that. So whatever it is possible from our side, as a core technology research organization, definitely we will be happy to associate with various innovators, new age thinkers. I welcome that. Thank you for this opportunity.
So my address to the last speaker, Zau Ali Khan Sahab, Chairman, ERA University, human capital development and education remain essential pillar for sustainable economic growth. So my questions are, how can educational institutions support a stronger economic cooperation between India and Uzbekistan? What skills will be most important for future investment-driven growth? How can universities contribute to innovational ecosystem and entrepreneurship development? What opportunities exist for academic and research collaboration between the two countries? Zau Ali Khan Sahab.
Thank you very much for those questions, and thank you to His Excellency Mr. Sardar Ustambev for giving us the opportunity to participate in this esteemed forum. I've seen a lot of energy when it comes to several key initiatives of the Uzbekistan government, and it's really very encouraging to see all the different ways that they have simplified bureaucracy, they have provided opportunities. So I congratulate them for all of the reforms that they have done to bring in investment at Uzbekistan. Now, as far as your questions are concerned, I quickly noted down some of the keywords so that I'm able to do justice to the questions. So I think the first question was about how universities can support the cooperation between the two nations. I think universities have a central role when it comes to human capital development, and also when it comes to educating students, not in just their fields, but also the opportunities that lie ahead of them. So if we were to target students, or if we were able to capture students' imaginations and their appetite for growth in classrooms itself, then we'd be able to give them an idea of how they can make a career in Uzbekistan. I've heard that there are a large number of Indian students in Uzbekistan already pursuing various courses, but most of them perhaps would be thinking of going back to India and practicing their career over there. So I think to engage them, you need to have some kind of dialogue with them over here. But also, if you want to engage Indian students, you can have student exchange programs, but also bilateral hackathons. So there are common issues that India and Uzbekistan both need to solve when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to digital solutions. So all of those things can be worked on together by students, and students oftentimes they have the more fresh and innovative ideas than even their teachers. So I think those kind of cooperation or exchange programs and hackathons between Uzbek students and Indian students would matter a lot when it comes to the encouragement of cooperation, economic cooperation between the two countries. And I think the next question was about what skills are most relevant. I think today's age has, of course, made it evident that tech skills are a very basic foundational skill that every graduate should be having. So tech skills combined with domain expertise is something that would make sure that our younger population or the next generation is career ready in a world where there's continuous change, continuous rapid change is going on across all domains. So in that case, I think the single best skill that universities can give to their students would be to teach them how to continuously learn, how to relearn and stay at the edge of their seats when it comes to their technical skills as well as domain expertise. The third thing was about the innovation ecosystems, how universities can create innovation ecosystems. So the way ERA University has done it is that we ourselves have adopted and in fact developed as well many innovative solutions ourselves at the campus itself. So first of all, I think when it comes to making sure that the students and the research output at universities is innovative, for that you need to make sure that you are already, the faculty themselves are familiarized with the latest innovations. They themselves are using all of that, or they are creating policies proactively when it comes to, say, use of AI in assessments and so on. So all of those things, that's the first step, utilizing technology as it keeps on developing, keeping pace with that, so that you're able to demonstrate to the student that this is the need of the hour, this is the latest cutting edge. And once you've done that demonstration, then you need to develop some electives, innovative electives as well, where you're able to structure the training of students in innovation, in critical thinking, in problem solving. And once you've done that second step, the third remains to develop innovation nodes or centers of innovation either on campus or in collaboration with external partners, where the students can experiment, and I mean basically sandboxes where the students get the opportunity to test out their own ideas. I think yes, that sums up the things that you had asked. Thank you so
sir.
much.
Thank you. Now, my last question to all speakers. If you could recommend one concrete action that governments and businesses should prioritize over the next 12 months to strengthen India-Uzbekistan economic cooperation, what would it be? Yes.
I would say, I'll just reiterate my point about human capital, that human capital drives every other capital. So I would encourage both the governments to open the gateways for more academic and research collaborations between the two nations and co-develop the human capital across the two regions.
I feel that economic corridor is really important in today's geopolitical situation. How India and Uzbekistan create this special economic corridor for different businesses, and if that can be actually creating special purpose funds, now the entire the economic understanding of the entire geopolitical world is actually changing, and it's getting converged. And India being, one of the commonest thing between the President of Uzbekistan and Prime Minister India's vision is how to create and recreate new dimensions of our countries together. And if that kind of a corridor is established, I think that's going to be really giving a lot of boost to the businesses.
Mine is very simple. Come and witness the progress. The rest you will get it, you will feel it, and then you will get all the motivation. Because there are a lot of opportunities, that could be captured now. One very good investor who is investing around $90 million right now in Tashkent Pharma Park or Biopharma City, he said very interesting thing. He's from Korea. He said, Uzbekistan is like Korea in 90s. Whoever invested in 90s, they became rich. But now investing in Korea is extremely difficult because the market is fully saturated, competition is very high, the margin is very low, and there is a potential that your business will fail. So here in Uzbekistan, the market is not mature enough. Market is free, it's open, there are a lot of opportunities. So recommendation is come and witness, we will show what we have, and we always walk our talk. So you can feel the trust and progress. I believe you will be definitely motivated to invest in Uzbekistan. Thank you.
So I would actually quickly reiterate what I said earlier, and I think probably I'm overdoing it, but I think the two countries should really seriously think about celebrating this year as a year of Uzbek-India friendship. That's my request to all the dignitaries here. And besides that, yes, I think as far as Uzbekistan is concerned, probably they need to invest more in storytelling, as I said earlier, because the progress that I saw here, when I compare it with Dubai, I think it's way, way ahead. And the best part of it is the focus on family. So yesterday I was visiting the Central Park, and I was really amazed, very impressed by the way that has been structured. And I went into the history of it. One of my friends was telling me, and I realized that it was just 7 years in which what you have developed. So that's incredible. And most importantly, I think that's an example of taking the family, both in Indian culture and I think Uzbek culture, we really value that. So that is something that was very impressive for me, because when I compare that with Dubai, I think in Dubai you have the malls, but each time you have to go out and spend time with the family. You go to the mall, spend something there, and then come back home. But in Central Park, what I realized was the family was spending time with each other. And that's the core, and I think that's actually the sustainable investment in your human capital. So thank you so much.
So what you said, in fact, we've been wanting the minister to come over to India, and with excellency, we should actually celebrate the outcome of this, India outcome of Uzbekistan, starting with pharma and healthcare to start with. If excellency can allow us to organize that and invite him over, that would be the first step.
So if it is possible, getting together, moving together, planning together, and then achieve together. If it is possible, some sort of the free trade agreement between Central Asia part and then India, that would be great. Because the understanding, it is not only between Uzbekistan and then India. Considering Uzbekistan as a central part, the strategic part, how we can spread all our the trade and then commerce relationship in and around Uzbekistan, Central Asia, that should be the target. Strategically, we have to plan together. Strategically, we have to, it may take time. Of course, tomorrow morning it may not happen, but it may take time. But as a the thinking point, if it can be considered based on our realistic various geopolitical the calculations, it matters always. So I think it is ideal.
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you to all our distinguished speakers and their valuable insights and perspectives. Today's discussion has clearly demonstrated that India and Uzbekistan possesses significant complementary strength that can drive a new era of economic cooperation, innovation, and investment. The future partnership between our two countries will be built not only through government initiatives, but also through the active participation of businesses, investors, entrepreneurs, universities, and technology leaders. The challenges ahead is to translate opportunities into tangible projects, sustainable partnership, and long-term economic value. By combining India's scale, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit with Uzbekistan's strategic location, reform agenda, and growing investment potential, both countries can contribute to create one of the most dynamic economic corridors connecting South Asia and Central Asia. We hope today's dialogues contributes to stronger cooperation, greater investment, and deeper people-to-people connection between our nations. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you a productive continuation of the Tashkent International Investment Forum. Thank you, sir. Now, one small information. Our Indian delegation has brought two varieties of delicious Indian mangoes, Langda and Dashari. A mango tasting event has been arranged in the adjacent room of this hall. You are warmly invited to come and taste these wonderful Indian mangoes. Друзья, наши делегаты привезли с Индии очень вкусный манго, два сорта манго. Это лангра и дашери. Мы хотим, чтобы подошли в соседнюю комнату этого зала и попробовали и дали свою оценку. Это манго называется король фрукты Индии. Давайте приходите, попробуйте и дайте свою оценку. Спасибо.